Well, I guess I'm early. They don't open until 6 in the morning, so I'm going to have to come back. There I am, parked right over there. So this is my second time at this place, same situation. Got here the night before. Well, this time I got a little later. Last time I got here, it was still daylight when I showed up. And same situation, not open till 6 in the morning. And gotta wait till morning. They open at 6. My appointment time's not till like 11. So, but just hang out, whatever, do this live feed. So get up in here and figure things out. So, alrighty. Oops. I'll just have to wait till morning. Don't open till 6. Just have to make the best of it. I think I'll have me a great Fanta. Because I'm all out of coffee, warm coffee anyway. I'm kind of coffeeed out. I've been drinking coffee all day. So, anyway. Shot a little bit of a video earlier, which I'll probably upload here shortly. Upload it to the computer and upload it. I might redo it though before I upload it, since I was interrupted before. But yeah, got here early. I can turn off my headlights, I guess. Just put on my parking lights, and guess I'll set my alarm for 6 o'clock and check in and see if I can't get to the dock earlier than 11. And then I just started my sleeper bird time 17 minutes ago. So it's 11:34, technically 10:34, but it's 11:35 here. So I'm in Paris, Kentucky, by the way. If any of you know where that's at. It's, for anybody that's wanting to know, it's a little east of Lexington, Kentucky, for those of you who want to know. And yeah, so whether or not I get to the dock early, I can't start my pre-trip time until what, 11, 10, about a little after 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then I'm supposed to go pick up in Hebron, Kentucky tomorrow, and it says 6:30. I don't know, I can't really trust these times, because every time I call to find out stuff, they tell me it's just kind of a guide, but they're saying 6:30. I'm hoping that's 6:30 at p.m. because it's not military time. If it's 6:30 in the morning, that ain't happening. If I'm lucky, I'll get, if I get my butt up at 6 and go check in at 6 when the doors open, hopefully I can get to the dock pretty close to right away, get unloaded, and I'll still have to sit here though, so it doesn't really matter if I don't check in before 9 o'clock, because I can't leave till 9. So if I don't check in till like 8, it's not going to be a real big tragedy, because I can't take off before 9. So we'll see. But I could at least get unloaded early. Actually, I had quite a bit of coffee left. I could throw that in my Deadpool cup and warm it up. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see. Deadpool cup. Still a little bit of dribble in there. Use the rest of it. That was from this morning. So, let's see, I need to prop you up against something. Finish off that coffee. I should probably set up the coffee pot. Wipe out this microwave a little bit. So, yeah. Time to clean off the bed a little bit. I was looking for my GoPro, and apparently I left it at home. Apparently my other daughter got a hold of it, but I thought I had put it in one of my bags to take here, and I can't find it. Hopefully it didn't fall on the ground between the house and my van, or between the van and the truck. So hopefully I didn't lose it. So, anyway, I guess I don't need this on right now. See, I got the Deadpool t-shirt here. Bottom here it says Merc with the mouth. Merc with the mouth. So, it's a pretty cool t-shirt. Kind of goes with either this Deadpool and Wolverine hat, or I just bought this Spider-Man hat, and I've got a Spider-Man like jersey. Got that hat as well. But yeah. Which, when I take a shower, I might switch out into this Spider-Man stuff. But got this jersey style shirt here. So, and I don't know what the significance of 62 is, but a friend of mine told me that they thought that 62 has to do with when Spider-Man first came about in 1962, maybe? Is that the right date? I don't know. I'm not nearly as much of a comic book nerd as like my Uncle John, who knows a lot about this stuff because he grew up on it. He's even worked in some comic book shops making comic books. So, let's go back up front here. Just hang out. Drink some coffee. Oh, hi Dakota. How you doing? Just hanging out here. Just got here to this place and it's not open till 6 a.m. This is the Hunt's Brother Pizza Warehouse, and there is nobody here. If you guys saw the thumbnail, I took a picture of the door with their hours and phone number and stuff. But yeah, I was been here once before, and I was in one of the middle docks past where that red truck is, and I was over like towards the middle to the other end over there last time I was here. Got here at the same situation, only I got here during daylight hours before it got dark out, about an hour or two before it got dark. And now I still gotta work this bill. It's getting better still. Sometimes you gotta really work these things. Sometimes you really gotta do them in and make sure that they form right. Better. Not perfect, but it's getting better. I'm going to Hebron to pick up a load that's going back to Iowa. It's supposed to go to Council Bluffs, but I think they're just having me bring it back to Ankeny, basically Des Moines, Iowa. And then they'll have a different driver bring it over there, I think. I don't know. I've got to call them tomorrow. I think the message on my phone, which I'm using to do this video, this live feed, says that I'm bringing the load back to the yard. In fact, there's those notes on this thing too. Let's see. I have from 6:30 to 4 p.m. to pick up the load tomorrow. I have a pickup number. I got everything on this little doohickey sheet here. So I basically got till 4 p.m. anytime between 6:30 and 4 to go pick this up It's an hour and 30 minutes away according to my GPS. This place will Google Maps can find, but my Rand McNally GPS couldn't find it. I bookmarked it in here though, but a couple of these roads don't exist according to the Rand McNally, but the Google Maps has it all in there. So sometimes we gotta kind of take our chances with that crap. Yeah, this is the load that I'm doing right now. I don't need that. We can throw that away. And I'll get over there as soon as I possibly can and then run right back to Ankeny. I think they're having me drop it off. I hope they weren't too bad last time I was here. They open up their doors at 6. My appointment time is until 11. We'll see what happens. And I can't start my pre-trip time until a little bit after 9 o'clock. Because it was about a quarter after 11 Eastern time when I got here. Because we're on Eastern time now. And I've been in the sleeper berth 31 minutes, so you figure 10 hours from now I can start my pre-trip and get going down the road. I should be unloaded by then. I hope they unload me earlier than 11. But worst case scenario, they take me at 11. I'm out of here by noon, no later than 1, and can get up there by 2:30, 3 o'clock. Worst case scenario. But I'm hoping I'll knock on that door at 6 and they'll send me right to a door. I think this place might load up their own delivery trucks first, and then they'll start taking delivery trucks, because they got a whole bunch of straight trucks sitting over there. I noticed that I think have their own Hunt's Pizza Brothers logo on them. So those trucks will go out and do deliveries after they get loaded. And hopefully they'll take off pretty quick. And then hopefully I'll be able to hopefully then I'll be able to get up to the dock as soon as possible. Get out here earlier. Hopefully I can be heading down the road. Whatever. I'm not exactly sure. Bunch of cake. It's probably, if I get on here, last time I think it just said something about, that was a different place though. It just has product numbers. It doesn't say what it is. Whatever it is has to be kept at -10. And it's stuff for Hunt's Brothers Pizza. So, I don't know if it might be frozen pizzas. It might be stuff they make the pizzas with. I really don't know. I don't know if this place makes anything, or if they just hold it and then send it out. I have no idea what kind of place this is, but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's a couple other industrial places around here, but this is kind of looks like this is one of those places that's only been here a couple of years, and this is an area getting developed, because there's not a whole lot around it. And there's just a few places up around the bend, about a mile or so up the road here, that you drive past to get here. So It's just how it is. I'll get up in the morning and try to check in. I'll have to set my alarm on my phone for 6 o'clock. I don't need to jump on them right at 6 because I don't even know if I'll get to the dock until my appointment time of 11 o'clock. They might send me to the dock early, but they might not touch me until 11, which means I might not get out of here until 11:30 noon if they unload me quick. Last time they weren't too bad. I think it was around 45 minutes. I don't really remember for sure how long it took them to unload me. But turn that off. Unplug this. Sometimes it's precarious to set you guys up right there. I get slightly better lighting there. But yeah, I've got to go clean off my bed and put some stuff away. I was delving into my bags looking for my GoPro, and it is apparently at home. Apparently my daughter got a hold of it, or I dropped it. So I do not know where it is, but I'm hoping that it is at the house in a safe place. Hopefully it just fell out in the office before I brought everything out to the van, because I had my other daughter was adamant that she wanted to pull the cart because they have our street in front of our house all tore up because they're redoing it, and so I'm not able to park my van right in my own driveway and load my van up right there. I have to throw everything in. I've got a lawn and garden cart. Actually, I have two of them. The other one I got to get some replacement wheels for. But I've got my other one, and I load it up and put all the crap in. Then I bring to the truck and cart it out to the van, load the van up, and then I got to drive over to the yard, load the thing up, because I've got to put my freezer chest, it's called a Wolf Box cooler, and I can set it to freezing temperatures. It's pretty cool. Show off my Spider-Man bedding here at the same time, but right there is my Wolf Box. So I have this fridge that they installed, but I have the Wolf Box that my wife got me, that I can set the temperature to pretty much anything I really want to set it to. I've got it set at -8, so I can put stuff in there to keep frozen. I've got some chicken breasts in there, or chicken thighs. I've got some frozen vegetables. I've got some hamburger patties in there, and if I can find room for it, I'll stick some other stuff. Oh yeah, check out my videos. I got a whole playlist of me cooking things on the truck, and there'll probably be more videos of me cooking on the truck. But I'm trying not to do videos of me cooking all the same things, so I'm trying to show everything I cook. I have an electric skillet. I've got a Road Pro to go. What's tonight for supper? I don't know if I'm gonna eat anything tonight because I already ate earlier. I've got leftovers in the fridge that I need to eat. Earlier for lunch, I finished off 2 KFC chicken thighs. One extra crispy, one original that I had for lunch. And had a couple bites of cottage cheese and some iced tea and some tea for lunch when I stopped earlier. But I've got some leftover fajitas from going to Chili's yesterday, or technically, yeah, it was yesterday, Saturday, for dinner. And I've got leftover little thin steaks that I marinated in Italian dressing, and I cooked those up. And I brought those because I knew no one else would eat them. I've got some other crap in there. I got lunch meat and all kinds of stuff. I always set my truck up. I've got the microwave, the Road Grill, the skillet. I've got a Minions crock pot, a small crock pot. I pretty well try to stay stocked up on stuff. I got canned foods up there, some vegetables. I got canned those Hormel tamales. I've got Dinty stews. I've got some mac and cheese stuff up there. Sometimes I have ramen noodles on the truck, sometimes I don't. But I've always got choices. Try to keep things on hand. Like, I'll probably pull out these chicken thighs possibly tomorrow and let them thaw out. And then I'll throw all 4 of them in this crock pot, and I'll either put them in chicken bouillon and cook them up that way, maybe throw some other crap in there to cook with it, like some veggies or something, and I'll let it cook in this, and I can plug this in to the power back here. There's an inverter back here, and I'll cook something. But I got to clean this out a little better because I didn't clean it very well last time I used it. But yeah, I set myself up on the truck. Coffee pot, skillet, trying to make sure I got enough food on hand, and to try to have stuff that I always got to try to have a backup plan, and a backup plan for the backup plan. So, you know, I even got backup plans for when I don't have a bathroom available, but that's another video. As a truck driver, sometimes you got to get creative in your situations when you run into different scenarios. Last time I was here, I don't remember these yellow things being here the last time I was here. Those I don't believe were there. I think they installed those since I was here, probably about a month ago, roughly. Those weren't there last time. I put it on the floor. Yes, I have had stuff sloshed out. I was cooking liver. It was either liver or it was gizzards and livers, chicken gizzards and livers in it, something like that. And I had it in there, and I had it sitting right down here. I didn't have this rug here because I had left it at home by accident. This rug kind of helps stabilize it, but if it's just on this rubber floor, it tends to take the bumps of the road worse. and it just kind of sloshed forward when I had to brake hard once. And that's one of the things you got to be careful of if you're gonna cook in that going down the road. But if I can get away with cooking in the Road Pro thing, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Road Pro, let me show you. This thing that looks like a lunchbox. This thing is awesome. If you don't got one of these on your truck, you need to have one. It's awesome to cook in. You just plug it in. Sometimes I'll put the cord into its little hole in the bottom of that thing. But you just plug it into the DC and you put where are my tins? Right here. You just get you, these comes in 3-packs. They sell them in the truck stops, but they're like 3 times as expensive. They'll sell these in the truck stop for like $4 to $5. Go to Walmart and get a 3-pack for less than $2 for a 3-pack. And you go to where all they sell all the different size of aluminum pans. There's actually 3 different sizes you can get. This is the medium size. Kind of bent up because it's gotten knocked around a little bit, but they sell this tiny size. You see that fits like that. This size fits perfectly, and they sell one size bigger that will fit in here, but you kind of have to crimp it down on the sides, and you don't see the bigger size that often. But if you don't got one of these, you need one. They're awesome, and you can cook just about anything in it. You can use aluminum foil or these aluminum tins and plug it in. It gets up over 300 degrees, and you just got to keep an eye on whatever you're cooking in it and make sure you stir things often. You can cook whatever your imagination can think of to cook in it. So I try to always set up my truck so I got everything that I need. I get cases of bottled water, and then I have 3 jugs of water that I use to cook with, or to make, and mainly to make coffee with, because I got a coffee maker back here too, a regular coffee maker, and it plugs right into the inverter power, and I'll make a coffee first thing when I get up and have coffee ready to go. When I know that I'm getting ready to go, I can make a pot of coffee during my pre-trip time, be doing my pre-trip, and it'll be done. Then I can fill up my coffee tumbler and my thermos. I'll fill up my thermos and my coffee tumbler, and then there'll just be a little bit of coffee left at the bottom of the pot, because I always make it just a little more than what I need. But that's good, because then I have a little bit of coffee left that I can heat up later if I want to have it. So in this Deadpool cup, cool. Got this Deadpool card there, and then I got this. And then I got the other one that's a little more decorative. It's a little harder to drink out of because it's molded in the shape of a head of Deadpool holding a sword like this, and so it's a little awkward to use. I've used it, drank out of it. If you look at some of my old videos, you'll see me using it. But that's why I bought this cup, so I have a regular shaped cup to drink out of. But I mostly drink out of this, because it'll keep my coffee warmer. longer. So it is what it is. How many companies have I trucked with? Right now I'm with Midwest Viking. I left CR England to come here. They couldn't fulfill their promises of 100% drop and duck. Gave them 4 months to figure it out. Before that, I was at Bay and Bay. Before that, I was at Alan Ritchie hauling mail for the last 10 years, minus 2 stints of being gone for roughly a year, where I drove for K&B, and then I also drove for Randy's Diesel Repair, which that was a nightmare because that was egg exempt miles, which is, don't ever do that because you gotta pretty much run 24/7, because you can literally, legally, as long as you stay within 150 mile radius of places, you can pretty much log off the thing legally and drive as much as you want, and it's legal. And then you're trying hard to get places early to drop off and deliver and get to your next thing, so you just are constantly trying to run your butt off, and then you're just lack of sleep, man, and it caught up with me. And then before that, I drove for CRST, and then I drove for some local places. I drove for G&K Services, hauling mail. Would I ever drive for Swift? I don't know. I guess I would if they gave me the right deal, but I think I found a place that is going to treat me right. Smaller place, able to communicate better. Those big companies, and Swift is one of the biggest, you tend to get lost in translation at those bigger companies. You become more of a number, and they preach safety all the time, but then they shoot themselves in the foot. I hope I don't have to I hope I don't have to leave this company. I hope I have found my home. I've only been here for a couple of months. I've been here since August 2nd. August 2nd was my orientation day, and then that was a Friday, and then I started that. August 4th was my first actual day driving for this company. So so it's been just a little over 2 months, I guess, since I started. Are we in October yet? Yeah, we're in October 7th. So basically, I've been here at Midwest Viking for 2 months, and hell of a lot better place. There is a camera in here, but I don't even know if it really works. I think they said it does, but as far as I know, it doesn't work, because I pick up my phone all the time while I'm driving, and when it has the same camera system and same logging system, the Blue Tree, no, the Samsara system, and they've got the Samsara system a little bit different, and we had the same camera system in Alan Ritchie, and theirs would talk to you. Yep, this is an international, it's an LTL international. I believe the year is 2021, and some of the previous drivers did some little bit of cosmetic damage and stuff. Apparently the driver before me hit some rocks and damaged a bunch of stuff underneath. And this passenger side gas tank on the bottom side on the back edge, if you look down underneath, it's got a big old dent in it underneath. And you literally got to walk around to look at it. The rear guard has a couple of dents on it. And if you look here, you notice some of that plastic is missing on those hood mirrors. Come on. There we go. If you notice, there's some plastic missing on both of those hood mirrors. However that happened. No, they're probably not going to bother fixing that stuff because it's just cosmetic. And like the tank, the gas tank, the fuel tank, they just said to keep an eye on it. They said if I notice it start leaking, to let them know. But they're trying to avoid costs because they're a smaller company. They're not a big, huge company. This company that I work for now only has about 30 some drivers, like 30 drivers, maybe a few more than 30. They've got a few local drivers and then a bunch of other drivers that drive all the time. They got a couple of flatbed drivers, but they only have a couple of flatbed drivers. They don't have a lot. Most of their freight is reefer freight, and that they do some brokerage, but they said they make more money off of actually off the drivers that deliver freight. So anyway, so tomorrow I got 90 miles, an hour and a half away. And it says exactly an hour and 30 minutes on my GPS. So, but check out my other videos. I mean, how long have you been driving? Are you a driver? Because my basically try to do videos to help drivers be better drivers. And if I fuck up, I show it. If I make mistakes, I try to show them so you guys can learn from my mistakes and so you don't repeat the same things I do if I mess up. And I do from time to time forget to do things or make little stupid mistakes. Hopefully nothing ever big. Last week, if you go back into my videos, you'll see last week I had the place that I delivered to last in Ohio. I went to go pick up a load and the forklift driver was skipping ahead and scanning all the product in. No, I am not. I'm an amateur radio license holder and a storm chaser headed to Florida for the hurricane tomorrow morning. Oh, okay. Well, that must be interesting. And the forklift driver was a young kid and he was skipping ahead. He scanned in all the product before he loaded it. And then he skipped ahead in the system and did all his messages, however many he had to do, and told the system that he was done loading my truck when he wasn't. And then he continued to load my truck. Meanwhile, for whatever reason, I was not able to feel the forklift on the back of my trailer. And normally you can always feel it. So he was either not driving very fast or whatever, I don't know, but the product he was loading was very light. I had 52 skinny pallets of almond displays like go straight into the store onto like end caps or the big wide, like in Walmart, how they got all the areas that they put products down the middle aisle between grocery side and like clothing, and they'll have stuff that comes in on little pallets and they'll make like a little square of products that are butt up against each other for whatever. And that's what these were, was those little display things of almonds. You got an old police SUV, that's cool. But the guy sent those messages in early saying he had completed loading my trailer, and he was still going on and off the truck. And so because he said he had completed it, the guy in the office was prompted, oh, this is done. So he was able to start printing off my paperwork, and he sent me a message on my cell phone, because anymore these days they communicate through cell phones, as you can imagine. They do a lot of communication with cell phones because everybody's got a cell phone, so it's just easier that way. So they had me come in. I went into the office. I signed the tablet for electronic signature, and then he printed off my paperwork and had me sign. No, I signed on the tablet, but he gave me the sealed paperwork in hand and said, "You're ready to go." So I went out there, hopped in my truck, and I wasn't sitting in the truck for a couple minutes before I pulled away from the dock, and I couldn't feel them going on and off the truck. I might have felt some subtle stuff, but nothing that felt like someone on the trailer doing anything. It was so subtle that I thought it was just wind, because I could see my trailer wiggling a little bit, but I just thought it was wind or something because it was really subtle. So I went ahead and was starting to put in I was gonna start putting in my information. I was doing something before I took off, and then I slowly pulled away from the dock. I felt a little bit of a thump. I thought it was just the dock plate falling, because some of these places you go to, they don't always pull the dock plate up and drop it back down. Some places just leave it on there and just let the trucks just pull away, and then the dock plate will just fall once it gets off the back of the trailer. So I just slowly pulled up a little bit. At first I heard a thump, and then I felt another thump, and I stopped because I saw a walkie-talkie fall on the ground, and I had my windows down, so I heard the guy back there go, "What the fuck?" So I got out and went to go look. I stopped, set my brakes, and got out and went to go look. And here there is a forklift driver where his fork's up in the air. His front tires of the forklift are sitting right on the ledge of the trailer, but the ass of the fucking forklift is sitting down on the ground, and this guy's sitting, like straight up like this. The guy's all pissed off and threatening to kick my ass. By the time I got back there, there's a couple other guys up on the dock looking down on him. I was like, "What the hell are you still doing back here? You guys gave me my seal and my paperwork. What are you still doing here?" "Because I don't give a fuck. You better get away from me, dude. I'm fixing to kick your ass." Whatever. It was his fault because he skipped through the system. But I will tell you, that place did not have the red and green, yellow, the red and green lights that places use, no T-bar locks, and they weren't coming out and putting airline locks on my trailer to keep me from moving the truck before they were done unloading me. So, key thing that place needs to do is the forklift drivers, so the loaders, before they load trailers, need to come out and put these airline locks on the trailer glad hand, which locks the driver out from being able to move that trailer, because the trailers are work from air. If you don't already know this, for those of you that aren't truck drivers and don't know this, most of the stuff on the truck runs off of air. Even the transmission on the truck uses air pressure to shift gears. It's wild. Everything on the truck and trailer, most of it, everything that they could possibly have run off of air pressure and air compressors is run off of air. And so they use air pressure to, when you push on the brake, you send air to or from the system, which pulls the brakes either away from the brakes or to the brakes. And if there's no air in the system, it releases the springs, which pushes the brakes up against the tires, meaning that as soon as you drop a trailer and take away the air, the brakes are set on a trailer and you should not be able to just pull away. All those yard jockeys do at places where you got those smaller trucks that just are barely big enough to haul the trailers around, and they bob around trailers all day, bringing trailers from the lots up to the docks and stuff. All they do is hook up to the red airline and then hook up to the kingpin, latch onto the kingpin, and then their things jack up the trailer. They don't even mess with the landing gear. They just lift up the trailer and have that red airline to release the brakes, and they just take off. If you put air pressure on the blue one, that doesn't really do anything per se. I don't even know what the blue air does on the trailer, but in order to move the trailer, you just have to have air pressure moving through the red line in order to release the brakes to move it. So if they come put one of those airline locks on, it slides on, and then you have a key and you slide it in, and it puts a pin down into the hole of the air, so you can't slide that thing back off. A friend of mine told me you can easily just go out there with like a pretty good something and just pry those things back right off if you want. And maybe you can. They might be pretty flimsy, I don't know. But in the long run, if they were to come out and put those on, it prevents a lot of that from happening. And if the forklift drivers leave them on until they're totally done loading and come out after they've released the dock plate, done all that stuff, and then they come out and have to take that airline lock back off when they're done. A lot of places do that. It would alleviate most of it, because whether or not that the lights that show green for free to back up or to leave the dock, red means that you're probably locked in if they have a T-bar lock, which this place didn't have the red and green lights. They didn't have a T-bar lock. So at the very least, they should get airline locks for the red line to prevent that from happening. In any places that you show up to, most places, a lot of places you go to are doing that. And a lot of places even make drivers drop and disconnect their trailers and pull a foot up in front of the trailers, or have them completely go sit in a bobtail area away from their trailers, and then they'll call you or message you to tell you that they're ready, that they've either loaded or unloaded you, and then you'll come back to the dock. But this place doesn't have all that system in place. The only thing they told me to do was take off my red airline while I'm sitting there. And that guy bucked the system. So can't help it if people are bucking the system and working ahead and saying that they completed something when they didn't. And that guy inside the office said it's partly his fault because he should have gone out there and checked. They also need to have cameras in the office with screens so they can see if they can see the docks and see if people are still doing things, and they can see what's going on out on the lot. Like have a camera out on, the area so they can see what's going on. So when things happen, they got stuff on camera. That way they protect themselves and they protect everybody. Cameras protect everybody. They either prove your innocence or prove your guilt. And I was recording most of that incident, so hopefully, if anything else were to come about, which I don't think anything's going to, I think that forklift driver lost his job, but I do not know. I will never know unless my company finds out through the grapevine and tells me. But all I know is that guy obviously got sent home afterwards after they checked him out and made sure that he wasn't hurt real badly and stuff. Apparently he was bleeding a little bit, but they said he was basically fine. And he got sent home apparently, but he came in with some friends. He was riding in a car. He's in the passenger seat of the front passenger seat of a car. Either some chick was driving the front, was driving the car in the front seat. There was another girl behind her in the back seat, and I think there was another dude sitting behind him in the back seat. And they came in, turned around and in front of all the trucks at the docks, and were going out the other way. And that guy that was the forklift driver was sitting up there in the front passenger seat, and they flew by and they had their windows down, and I was standing out on the ground up by the front of the truck, and I looked over and saw him, and he looked back at me and goes, "Hey, motherfucker," and he was flipping me off. And whatever. That guy was trying to get all pissed off at me, but if you skip the system, the only thing that I could have done, which wouldn't have really mattered, they had some people message me on a couple of those videos, the driver should go back there and check the fifth wheel plate, make sure the fifth wheel plate is down. Yeah. But the only thing I could have done was gone back and checked to see if the fifth wheel or the dock plate had been put down before I left. Because you can go and look underneath and see the dock plate flap down, the part of the dock plate that sits on the back of the trailer. And you can check to see if that has been raised up and then dropped down. But the only thing about that is not all places that you go to, most of the places I've been going to do, but not always do places put the dock plate up and flap down and put it away before you leave. Now they even have newer docks where you back up to the pads. It doesn't matter whether you have a roll door or swing doors like I do. Most trucks have swing doors, but there are a lot of trucks out there with roll top doors. And most docks you go to are the old style that you have to open up your doors and then back up to the dock up against the rubber pads, and then they'll put the dock plate on, and they try to have enough foam and rubber around the dock so that when you back up against it, you got pretty well a good seal, especially if you're picking up cold reefer loads of like trying to keep that trailer at frozen temperatures. And they don't always have the best seal, but they try to have enough of a seal to try to keep as much of the cold in that trailer as possible. But there are these docks that you can back up to where they're designed so that they can open up the swing doors inside on the dock, and then they got this big contraption dock set up that comes down and lands down, and they literally have a deeper concrete because they got this thing that's almost 2 feet thick, about 1.5 feet deep, of nothing but dock that comes down, whole big contraption that lifts all the way up inside and then comes down and lays down on the back of that trailer. And they will open up the doors. It doesn't matter whether you're getting loaded or getting unloaded. You back up with your doors closed. If they have to break seals to unload you or whatever, they will open those doors, load you or unload you. If they're loading you, they'll close them doors and they will put a seal on there for you, and you will never see what's in that trailer. Some of these loads we never see. They could be putting anything on there. They could be loading you up with guns and ammo and stuff for the cartel, and you would never know, because they could say that you are hauling fictitious stuff, and you would never know. And you'd be taking it to another location across country, and you would never know because you don't get to see the inside of that trailer, because the next place you go to might also have a style of dock where you back up and they do everything inside as well. Maybe. But those type of docks are not as common. The newer docks, depends on where you're going. I saw a lot more of them when I was at Bay and Bay, going to a lot more freezer, a lot more places where I hauled frozen stuff. I haul a lot of frozen stuff and cold stuff here, but I go to a lot of the older places, and I've gone to some of the same places I went to with Bay and Bay and K&B when I worked there hauling reefer stuff. But it's just, every place is just a little bit different on how they do things. Trucking companies are just a little bit different from place to place on how they do things, and how you do your logs and how you record information, and what kind of logging system you have, and all that stuff is just a little bit different every place. Then, depending on which company you drive for, might change the procedures that you gotta go through when fueling, and the different places that you go to pick up and deliver might have a little bit different setup than what and procedures as to the place you go to. It can be different for the different companies because they may have different requirements for each trucking company. When Sierra England comes in versus when K&B comes in, there might be different requirements based on the trucking company, that the trucking company might demand stuff be done a little bit different way, and then those places you're going to pick up or deliver have their own things that might change depending on who you drive for. So a lot of little differences across the board. So well, I'm fixing to jump off here pretty soon. And I'm going to go back here and relax. If I don't start passing out right away, I've got to set my alarm for 6 or 7 in the morning. Might set it for 7 because it doesn't really matter whether I get out of here before if they don't take me until 11, my appointment time, then it's not really going to matter. They open at 6. The appointment time's not till 11, but I really it won't be till at least after 9 o'clock until I can start my time anyway. So getting too gung-ho about it isn't going to do me any good, and I'll just lose a bunch of sleep, a couple hours of sleep anyway. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm either gonna read my Bible or do some journaling or just watch TV. Haven't decided yet. Maybe I do a combination of things. I have journals that I do. I literally have my own little symbol system that I write in, so not just anybody can go in and read my Bible. But I'll probably go back here and wind down a little bit and then get some rest. But appreciate you guys coming by and hanging out. And I'm working on a few video ideas. I want to do some backing, instructional backing videos and things like that for you newbie drivers, and maybe it will help some of you other drivers too. But this channel is directed more so towards newbie drivers, and then a lot of you guys like to watch my videos. You like keeping up with what I'm doing, and I try to update you guys. That's what my live feeds are more about. But my edited videos are a lot more directed towards the newbie drivers who are just getting out here trying to learn how to do things. And the training for new drivers, in my opinion, sucks. And I think it's getting worse because they're trying to fast track drivers, get these drivers out on trucks with minimal training. They don't know what they're getting themselves into, and there's a lot of stuff they are just not getting taught properly, and a lot of philosophies that they're not getting taught right, and drivers are literally getting away with a lot of things. But some of those things are not their fault because they are just not getting the right training and not given the right attitude and philosophy of being a truck driver out here like there used to be. Drivers are just not getting taught the right things, and they're getting encouraged to shut down a lot sooner than they need to, and get a lot of drivers out here that don't have clue one what they're doing. And there's a lot of little things. Truck driving is not that hard, but there's just a lot of things they're not teaching. And I think they make backing a lot more complicated than they need to be. And there's just a lot of little subtle things that they need to teach better, in my opinion. And if they just need to simplify everything. And new drivers can learn things a lot easier if they keep it simple. Stop trying to complicate things and keep things simple. Keep it simple and not complicate the crap out of it. And try not to rush these drivers through all this stuff, because it's a lot of information to go through, and new drivers are not going to retain everything that they're being told, and they're going to need time to learn everything. In my opinion, I think a lot of new drivers need to have more than one trainers to get a couple of different point of views as they get out there, because some trainers don't teach stuff the way other trainers do. And then there's the relatability factor in that, where a student might relate to a different trainer differently. It doesn't mean that trainer is a bad trainer, a driver trainer is any better, or mentor, or whatever they call them at your company if they do their own training. But it's just sometimes you relate better to different people. You can have 10 different people tell you the same thing, and then you go hear the same thing the same way from someone you respect more, or just have more of a rapport with, or whatever. But for whatever reason, when this one person tells you something, it might be the exact same way, all of a sudden it sinks in. Part of that might be because of the repetition of hearing it multiple times from other places. Now you hear it from somebody that you have a little bit more respect for, or like for, or whatever. But it is a thing, and it does make a difference. So we get a lot of these guys out here that become trainers just because they want to make more money. And I have heard from friends of mine that are truck drivers that have been trainers that said that being a driver trainer isn't worth it money wise. They do pay the trainers a little bit more money. They do make a little bit, but it isn't all it's cracked up to be. And you're putting your life on the line, because a lot of these student drivers make a lot of stupid decisions while they're on the truck. And the first couple weeks, they're supposed to set up with that student until that student shows that they can be trusted. But for that first week or so, driver trainers and students are supposed to be on the same schedule, and that student is supposed to be doing most of the driving. But that doesn't necessarily happen. I hear all the time about how from straight out of the gate, these companies are making driver trainers and students run like a team truck from the very beginning, which is wrong, because they need to be teaching them different things, practicing some backing, some driving. And if you so happen to be at a company that might still be teaching the manual transmission, which I doubt, because I think all the companies have switched over to automatics, and which sucks, because then you're handicapped. But most of these companies are going all automatic automatic trucks anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. But my friend George, who was a trainer, said that, and I kind of can see his point. When they started taking truck drivers out of the manual transmission trucks, drivers stopped having to pay attention as much. Now they got on free hand. They don't have to worry about grabbing a gear shifter over here while they're driving. They don't have to pay attention to whether or not they got a shift or in mountains and stuff. They don't have to pay attention as much. They lose that having to pay attention thing as much because in the manual, anytime you slow down so much, you got to shift gears, or you got to shift up or down depending on what the speed limits are. And in an automatic, you stop having to pay that as much attention to. You don't have to pay attention to them to shift, and you start having a free hand. You start being able to get a little bit too relaxed behind the wheel and start doing stupid things like holding your phone in your hand. You know, pretend this is a phone. This is actually my internet. But you're holding that phone in your hand, texting, whether or not you're doing the swipe thing or whatever, going down the road, you got one hand on the wheel. But in a truck, you even more so, because there's a lot more resistance behind this steering wheel of a truck than there is in, say, your car. The car has like no resistance in the steering wheel, especially in comparison to the truck. And even though there's power steering, there's still a lot more resistance in the steering wheel of a truck. And when you drive one-handed, and I am guilty of doing it, all the time, you know, I'm guilty of it. But the difference between me and a lot of other drivers, and I'm not condoning necessarily some of the things I do, but the difference is not that it's an excuse or not that it's a good thing. I keep my eyes moving and I don't let myself get sucked in to what I'm doing. I can put my phone up here and watch shows going down the road while I'm driving because I don't leave my eyes on that screen. It is just one more thing I am looking at. My eyes are always moving back and forth while I'm driving, looking in my mirrors, checking out, trying to make sure that I'm in my lane and that stuff. I try not to text at all, try not to pick up my phone. The only time I pick up my phone is maybe to switch what I'm watching, if I'm watching YouTube, or a lot of times I'll put it on shows that I've seen 50 million times. Things I don't have to pay attention to as much because I've seen them 50 million times. Movies that I like, that I've seen, that I can just more listen to than to look at the screen as much. But there's 50 million things in the truck that are a distraction. Your tablet for your ELD, it's a distraction. You got to look at it, keep up with your time to make sure you're not going over your time. Your GPS is a distraction. You got to pay attention to it to see what it's having you do and to make sure that it's not making you do goofy things you don't need to be doing. Even your trucker's GPS will send you off and make you do goofy ass things that you shouldn't do. Your trucker's GPS will, not as often as Google Maps or some will, it is a trucker's GPS, and for the most part, I don't care what GPS system you have, whether it's a trucker's GPS or whatever. Even if you have a trucker's GPS, it is not infallible. In St. Louis, my trucker's GPS and Google Maps and even the system that I had, they had a GPS system. I think there's even one on this tablet, but the GPS system that I had with CR England all were trying to make me turn down a road with a low clearance. It said 12 foot something or 11 foot something. As soon as I looked down the road, you cannot blindly follow any GPS system when you're in a semi truck or in any big vehicle. Never ever blindly follow any GPS. Anybody that ever follows a GPS so blindly that they're not looking before they turn, you cannot always tell what you're getting yourself into, but you need to at least look before you make a turn off the road you're on. If you're on, once you get off on the side roads, you have to pay attention to what you're turning on to. Look before you turn. I don't care. I don't care if you're pulling through a light. You gotta look as good as you can before you ever complete that turn and be ready to veer off and go to the right or left, depending on what turn you're making. Because you gotta look and look for any signs that say low clearance or no trucks. If it says no trucks, there is a reason for it. If it says no trucks, it's because either there is something down there you want to avoid. It might be a low clearance, could be power lines, low lights. It could be that you can't make the turn safely without running crap over. Million different scenarios, but for whatever reason, if you turn down that road, you're probably going to wind up having to do a straight line back off that road and do a dangerous situation. So never ever blindly turn down any road, no matter what your GPS says. Always look, and I don't do it, but you should be always getting on and looking at what you're dealing with when you're going to places. You can call and confirm directions to places. That is something that you should be doing. You don't always have the phone numbers for these places, but you should be able to look them up on Google. Back when I first started, we didn't have that ability. We didn't have cell phones back when I first started driving. We didn't have GPS systems. All we had was directions that were given to us to follow, and a lot of times those might be wrong, and you are supposed to call, because normally you did get given phone numbers to call these places and go, I'm a truck, I'm 13.6 high, I'm 70 feet long, 10 feet wide. How do I get to you? You're supposed to call these places and confirm directions. Now, less and less truck drivers are bothering to ask for directions unless they wind up not being able to find a place, because a lot of these places we go to are surrounded by no truck routes, and you got to find the only way in, which might be a little ways down the road that says no trucks on it, but the place is right just like so many hundred feet down that road, and you're not supposed to go all the way down it, because this place is, you got to turn, there's a truck entrance to a facility just a little ways down that road or something. Or maybe you're supposed to come at that place from a completely different direction, and the entrance is on a completely different road than what your GPS is telling you. And there's all kinds of scenarios. I could talk all night about this, but you really got to watch your butt out there. Anyway, I've gotten myself off on a tangent as usual. And I'm getting tired, and I'll probably go back here and pass out. So I'm going to let you guys go. Appreciate you guys coming by. And I'm going to go probably get some sleep. I don't think I'm too tired to do any journaling or reading or even watch TV. So I was going to set my alarm and get up around I don't know. If I'm up at 6, I'll go check in, but I think I'm going to set my alarm for, 7:30, 8 o'clock maybe. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Because it's already 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'm going to want to get more sleep than that. All right. Talk to you guys later. Goodbye. I'll figure it out. I'll get back with you guys tomorrow sometime or whatever. I'll post a video or something soon. So, bye y'all. Thanks for coming by and hanging out and listening to me ramble a lot. Thanks guys. Bye.